So I was meaning to get this video out yesterday because Valentine's Day was actually the anniversary of a murder that took place on Chicago's west side. It got a lot of attention because, like some of the other incidents that have happened in Chicago, man, this one was streamed live on Facebook. Now, you couldn't actually see the murder itself as far as the gunshots or anything on Facebook, but the incident itself took place while somebody was streaming on Facebook, man, and it was a female and a guy in a car, and the woman was pregnant at the time, and unfortunately, was shot herself. Then there was also a toddler in the back seat who was shot and killed. Levante was his name. Rest in peace, the little Levante man. And then the man that was in the car, Lazarick, he was also killed, man. And you see the aftermath of the shooting. It got a lot of attention. There were some other high-profile shootings on Facebook Live around that time, but this one in particular was on Valentine's Day. So there were 3 arrests made in the case, and this case is still going on. So this is actually going to be like a case update on these 3 individuals, and also to give some of the backstory about what exactly that was about. There was a lot of misinformation about that murder that went out at that time because T-Roy from O Block was killed like around the same time. It was either that day or sometime close by there, and there was a lot of rumors going out that the person that was killed in the car on Facebook Live was T-Roy. That was false. This had nothing to do with T-Roy. T-Roy's, he was a gang member from the South Side. This was some West Side stuff, man, that had nothing to do with O Block or anything like that. And the little toddler that was shot in the back, he was unfortunately killed, but had nothing to do with anything going on with O Block, man. So the guys who were charged in this, several of them at least hung out with, I'll say, a set of gangster disciples on the west side called Comac. Now, this is a relatively well-known set because on the west side of Chicago, there's an area called K-Town. K-Town, for those of you guys who aren't from the city, this is like there's a bunch of streets that run consecutively that start with the letter K, okay? And this isn't just on the west side. These streets run all the way up into the suburbs. But when people say K-Town, they're typically referring to the blocks that are off of those streets that start with K on the west side of Chicago. I mean, technically there's, a K-Town like all the way as far as those streets run, but that's not really what people mean when they refer to K-Town. So K-Town, mostly on the west side in the Lawndale area, is dominated by GD sets. Okay, and Comac is one of the most well-known GD sets in that area. There's a Fly Life 1500, there's some other GD sets in the area, like around that grammar school over there. But these sets are all kind of close to each other. So Comac is really over by it's like 21st and Kildare. There's like a Cermak grocery over there. That's like the border of their territory. And then there's Roswell B. Mason Elementary School is just to the north of that. And then on the other side of that, you got Fly Life and 1500, the other GD sets, that's to the north. And then just to the south of that, you're actually entering like a Hispanic neighborhood. But to the east of that is like Vice Lord territory. Okay, that's like, predominantly Vice Lord area. So there's a bunch of Vice Lord blocks like to the east of that, and then there's a bunch of GD blocks to the west of that in that K-Town area. And the guys who were arrested for this, like I said, at least I don't know if they were official or outstanding members or what, but these days that whole thing is kind of fuzzy, like who exactly is a member and who's not. But they at least they were seen in pictures with a lot of the Comac GDs and in videos. Okay, so at least it was they were hanging out with those guys. And the GDs over there, they dropped Vice Lord. And for which set in particular, I don't know if they're dropping it for a particular set or just for all the Vice Lords, like to the east of that. But yeah, it's like a GD on Vice Lord beef, and that's been going on, man. Like the GDs versus the Vice Lords, that's been a beef like since back even before I was a kid. You know what I'm saying? Folks versus people. That's like the oldest beef in the book. The first arrest that was made was a guy named Devon. Okay, and this is the report at the time. They said a 26-year-old man was charged Saturday in a shooting that killed 2 people, including a toddler, in the North Lawndale neighborhood this week. They said Devon faces murder charges in the shooting of a 2-year-old named Levante and a 26-year-old named Lazarick in the 2300 block of South Kenneth. And a pregnant 21-year-old woman was also wounded in the shooting. So police said they believe that that Lazarick was the intended target of the shooting, which stemmed from a dispute between Lazarick and, they said, quote, a group of individuals. Now, I'll give you guys the backstory on that in a little bit, but Chicago police commander said the police are searching for more suspects. They eventually did find more suspects, but they said Devon has a prior criminal history and has been arrested 9 times previously for armed robbery, illegal gun charges, and narcotics possession. So Devon was paroled from the Illinois Sheridan Correctional Center in LaSalle County less than a year ago, they said, in 2016. So this is from 2017 when this took place. They said moments before the shooting, the woman who was 3 months pregnant was driving using Facebook Live to stream the group as they were singing and driving, capturing images of the toddler sitting in the back seat. While she was streaming, a blue Chevy pulled up alongside their vehicle with Devon and 3 others. 2 of the individuals began firing at the victim's vehicle. The woman fled from the shooting. Lazarick was shot 5 times in the abdomen, in the back, and in the legs. Levante was shot in the back of his head, and the bullet exited through his cheek. Now, interestingly, the guys who allegedly were involved in this, okay, from the Comac GD side, they were like saying R.I.P. little bro later on their social media when they found out that Levante had died. So it appears that they didn't mean to kill the toddler. I don't know if they saw him back there, but unfortunately the toddler did pass. But so anyways, that was the first arrest that they made. Then they said, quote, 2 more men have been charged in the triple shooting that killed a 2-year-old and his uncle on Valentine's Day in North Lawndale. Police said that they are still looking for more suspects. But to my knowledge, besides the 3 that they found, they haven't found any more. But they said on Friday, a high school senior named Danielle appeared in bond court on charges of first-degree murder in the deaths of the 2-year-old and his uncle Lazarick. A third victim, the pregnant 20-year-old girlfriend, was also wounded in the February 14th shooting, which he recorded on Facebook Live. So Danielle was denied bail, and his alleged accomplice, Devon, was charged last week and denied bail over the weekend. So police on Friday also announced charges against a third suspect, a 19-year-old named Jeremy, who had also appeared in bond court after that. So according to the prosecutors, the 3 victims were in a car in an alley in the 2300 block of South Kenneth at about 1:25 p.m. on Valentine's Day when Danielle began driving a blue Chevy down the same alley. In the car with Danielle were Devon and Jeremy. Those guys had armed themselves with guns and were seeking retaliation, they said. And here's the backstory behind this. For the murder of one of the suspect's brother. It was not immediately clear which suspect, though, had lost a brother that apparently had been taken by somebody that they felt like they needed to get retaliation on Lazarick for this, okay? So as Danielle pulled up next to the victim's car, he and one of the accomplices opened fire. So Lazarick was fatally shot 5 times. Levante died of that gunshot wound to his head, and the girlfriend was shot in her stomach. So miraculously, the unborn baby survived the attack. She was 3 months pregnant, and the unborn baby survived, and so did she. So the Chevy was captured on surveillance footage circling the area and driving off after the shooting. So it was all captured on video. Apparently, they believed that, Lazarick or somebody, that he was connected with was involved in one of their friends' murder, okay, or brother or somebody. They charged Danielle with first-degree murder, and he apparently was working in construction, and he attended Little Village High School. But CBS officials said that he had not been enrolled at the school at all that academic year, so they were denied bail. So who exactly they lost and the name of the guy that they lost, I haven't been able to find out, but yeah, these guys were seen in videos and pictures with those Comac GDs. So this Comac set goes back some ways, man. And for Chicago, a lot of the sets that you see today with the new generation are like new sets. They're named after dead homies of guys that have died like recently, like within the last 10 years. But this Comac set goes back at least, I would say, 20 years. This is from 2004, when Chicago police actually, when they had come up on their radar, and they had an operation that was meant to basically shut them down because they were making a lot of money out west, with the dope, and just like a lot of the sets out west are doing, man. But they had said back in 2004 that they announced the arrest of 12 men who allegedly ran an outdoor crack cocaine market that netted $750,000 a year in sales on the streets of Lawndale. So $750K, you're talking about like twice the amount that a doctor would make in a year. So at the conclusion of an investigation launched on January 9th, police secured arrest warrants for 9 men on criminal drug conspiracy charges for working together to sell crack cocaine in the 2200 block of South Colon. And that is right in the heart of, like K-Town and the GD territory over there, man. But another 5 men faced charges for delivery. So 2 of the men charged in Operation Comac, which was the name of it, okay, named for the nearby intersection of Colon Avenue and Cermak Road, remained at large back then. But police, they said, would work with City Hall to shut down a nearby building with a single pool table that was marked with barbershop and hair salon signs. So drug deals, they said, were coordinated from that building, known locally only as, quote, the pool hall. So police also hope to shut down 4 houses from which drug deals were coordinated. All are occupied, they said, by members of one particular extended family, up to 6 of whom were arrested. So this was like a family affair for this one family over there, man, whose name I'm not going to say, but they said those plans, along with other coming from efforts of the Marquette district officers, they said we're going to make the neighborhood safer. They said when you have street narcotic activities, there will be street violence. So that was from 2004 when they tried to shut down that market, and they did a similar operation with the TVLs over there, man. But just, these few suspects, they said, were netting $750,000 a year in crack cocaine sales over there, man. So the West Side is the hotspot of that drug money. But yeah, Comac goes back, man. That particular set over there has been there for a long time. These guys are still locked up at this point. And they have court dates coming up in the beginning of March. The exact day of that I'm not going to say, but another one has it in the middle of March. And these guys have no bond for their cases. Another one has it about the same time in the beginning of March. Another guy has one in about 1 week. So they've got some more court dates coming up, and actually 2 of them I think have a court date in 1 week. So they got some more court dates coming up, man, but they've been in there now for almost 6 years, okay, because they were arrested not long after. So, I mean, the system goes slowly in Cook County, man, with these murder cases, very, very slowly. It's a high-cost, activity. They got to make sure they got all their things in order. The attorneys on the other side got to make sure they got everything. And these guys, I don't know if they have a chance of beating the case. I think they might have a chance based on what I'm seeing. Because, like I said, the material evidence is not that strong, I don't think, in this case, as far as like some of the guys. Now, as far as like the gun, if they have like fingerprints on one of the guns, which I haven't read that they do, but that would be the only thing that would really like tie one of the guns to one of these guys. So I haven't seen any like strong material evidence as far as like these guys being the ones responsible. Yeah, other than just like circumstantial evidence, but we'll see, man, because a lot of guys have been beating murder cases lately in Chicago, man, and this is taking a long time. So I don't know if that's I don't know who that's a good sign for, but that's what's going on right now with these guys, man, and with the Comac GD set out west. Your boy Winnie City Report. I'm out.